Good evening, Monadnock region, and welcome back once again to the Space Lounge for a fresh episode of Go Mo Tonight, the Monadnock region's only locally focused weekly comedy podcast. I am here in the Space Lounge, joined by my usual co-host,
Zoe Roten-Heinzman.
And today we are blessed. We don't have Sam. Sam's in Barbados and hiding. But we do have the pleasure of bringing on a very special guest. Roy Schlieben is with us today. Welcome, Roy.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a thrill.
Yes, and Roy is here, of course, because we're recording this today on July 29th, Friday. My sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Stephanie. And
My
this
husband's
episode,
birthday. Happy
that's
birthday,
right,
Kurt.
Kurt's birthday too. We can't forget Kurt. It's also Seth's wife, Tab Young, Tab McLean. Tab's birthday today as well. So a lot of big birthdays today. And Roy is here to talk because this episode is going to come out about 1 week before the preeminent Monadnock region event of the summer, which is the Peterborough Night Market, held on August 12th, Friday night, between 5:30 and 9:30 p.m. So thanks for coming on, Roy. Before we get into the actual night market stuff, I just want to ask you, Roy, really important question. What are we going to do about the IDG building? How are we?
Well, I mean, obviously, we're going to, somebody's going to tear it down and build affordable housing that, all the young people are going to be able to afford and live in our town. It's going to be great. So
It's going to look really beautiful too, right?
Do you have tools for that at the Makerspace, like construction equipment?
Yeah. We're doing a timber framing class starting this Sunday. So we'll be able to use those skills and
it can truly be a community-driven.
Yeah, I always thought that would be a great thing.
Yeah, we just have to seize the land. It's awesome. Great. Well, I really like that can-do spirit, and I think that is a lot of what animates this market here. So tell us a little bit about this year's night market and what people can expect and why no one should ever miss the night market.
Yeah, I mean, it's a blast. We pack as much of the creativity and great things that are happening in our region into one place, one night. We go out, we look for, or I look for what's sort of exciting, what's sort of percolating in our region. MaxT, that's what we're about. We created the Makerspace to support people who are trying to make stuff, trying to create businesses, new creative endeavors in our region. And this is an outshoot of all that. So we have 70 art vendors, all local people who are, selling their hand goods, their jewelry. We have painters. We have people who laser engrave, custom laser engrave items. They'll have their laser engraver right there and
no way. I'm going to bring something to be engraved.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We have a group called Precious Plastic, which are taking plastic from the community, recycling it and turning it into new products. We have portraits, robots. We have musicians. So, of course, we have Moderately Supreme, who's a DJ, kicking things off at 5:30. At 7:15, a band from Brattleboro who has sort of a regional following called Moxie is playing, and then we're closing the main stage with Modern Fools, who is a great local band.
Local favorite, yep.
Yeah, and then you guys, we can talk about the awesome Space Lounge area. We'll have all sorts of other performances, and the band Hovercraft playing.
How do you feel about the fact that our band does not start with the letters MO? Like, is that
It's
messing
weird,
up
isn't it?
there?
Yeah, they could call
Movercraft.
it Mothercraft,
Yeah, I feel like I set
Movemcraft.
Seth up by not telling him the MO theme.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a different stage, a different vibe. It's a little more.
We have the HO stage.
Yeah, the HO stage. Yes, exactly. Let's see. We also have kids crafts. So there's not one but two kids crafts tables. One by Aaron Sweeney of the Art Table, and one by Share Your Art, Share Your Heart. There'll be plenty for your kids to do. We have fire juggling again. That's been always a favorite.
That's a big, yeah. I've been promising. I'm glad because I've been promising people fire.
Yes, yes. There'll be plenty.
Is the lightsaber fellow coming back?
We never know. He
okay.
just sort of shows up, and we're excited when he does. He's invited anytime to come and show his new skills. It's a cool art that he does. Yeah, so there's many more things. I can't go through the whole list, but it's going to be, there's something for everyone. It's, you break up the boredom of, sort of summertime in a sleepy town, and suddenly it transforms into this happening place. So
yeah, it really does. It's like this. It's like a bazaar that like suddenly opens in like an oasis in the desert, and just like the tents go up and the lights go on and the festivities begin.
Yeah.
And and then it's gone, and then soon it's September, and the the school year begins, and it gets cold and everything else. But for this like one shining moment, we get the best of what summer and the region has to offer, I think.
Absolutely.
And this is the third, correct? There was a 2019, and then a year off for COVID, and then last year,
Yep.
and then this year, right?
Yeah, and we've tried to do some smaller Christmas themed markets, but
Yep. Yeah, we actually sold books at one of them.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I think it was was it in 2020? Maybe it was. It
that
was
was the end of
cold
2020. Yeah,
and snowy. Yeah, there was like a storm, and
yeah, that's the one disadvantage of trying to do that. But the Germans do it, so we might.
yeah, no, it was a worthwhile
more
endeavor.
of a Dickensian feel than the night market does.
Yeah, we might need a little more infrastructure to allow for warm up.
Yeah, we did have fun, if I remember, though.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's always fun when you bring the town together and
that's right.
Offer something different and new.
Yeah, that was cool. There was that when there was like Santa in a globe?
Yes.
Like Santa in a snow globe?
Yeah. Yes, which I thought was like actually a COVID modification that was creative and clever, and I didn't really mind it. I thought it was like a cool way to handle a socially distant Santa.
Yeah. My kids thought it was a little weird, but they were.
He's like Tinkerbell in a glass cage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember in 2019 I was on like family vacation or something, so I missed it, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool." And then I saw the pictures, and I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna miss this thing again." I mean, this looks really cool. I haven't seen anything like this, especially the way like the setup with with the tents kind of in that parking lot, like right in the center by the movie theater there. It's just such a like I don't even think I had seen. I mean, nobody really does anything in there, So like even just the use of that location and its transformation just looked so magical that I was very jealous. And then
our town looks great,
Yeah.
Even at night you can light it up right. It looks amazing. Yeah, more people should take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Well, it's a lot. Yeah, it's kind of like I feel like a lot of people don't know because there's not always a lot going on at night.
There's nothing going on,
especially these days. So, it's easy to forget that. Like, wow, actually, this place all lit up is kind of extra cool.
Yeah.
So, Roy, the MaxT Makerspace is the driving force behind the night market. Tell us a little bit about MaxT, how it came to be, and what you guys are doing now in the future, because you guys keep expanding and evolving and doing more exciting things. So it's
Yeah. Well, we have
take
a
it
lot
away.
of energetic people sort of who started us off and, sustained us and helped us grow throughout. We started in 2015, so 7 years now. Um, but we started very small in a little space where I think Dollar General is now. But we just wanted to have a place where creative people could come and meet other creative people, get access to maybe some hard to find tools like a laser cutter, 3D printing, things like that, and maybe take some classes. So it was a very small, small community idea, but it took off, and in 2 years we were looking for a much bigger space, which we're at Vos Farm Road now, sort of down the road from EMS. We have 10,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's big.
Office space. We have a big wood shop that is very popular. Instead of getting your own woodworking equipment, you can get a much better shop than you could have at home. Textiles shop. We have metalworking, jewelry, all that stuff under one roof, and do a repair cafe, which is really popular.
Yeah. Yep.
So people come and volunteer to fix other people's items one day a month. But it's a really positive experience for everybody.
Yeah, and people bring in all kinds of stuff, right? From like small household appliances to whatever, right?
Yeah. We've gotten like go karts. We've gotten
Oh wow.
we've gotten really nice old furniture, heirloom furniture. A lot of lamps, a lot of toasters, that sort of thing as well. We'll take a look at everything, and if we can fix it, we'll do it. And so we started doing events like that. When Sharon Arts Center closed, we got very heavily involved in trying to find replacement facilities and equipment that people could access in our area, particularly ceramics. So we started a ceramics center in Dublin this past year. Took a lot of fundraising, a lot of community effort to make it happen, but
That's a big lift.
Yeah, we raised $100,000 to build that place and get all the equipment we needed.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty huge deal.
Yeah. But it's great. It's really humming there. We have open studios and classes nearly every day, and it's awesome. People are thrilled that it's happening and work there. So
Yeah,
we're
and
proud
for
of
those
that.
of you who don't know, too, just to a little background on the Sharon Arts situation. Like Sharon Arts was an arts organization with a couple of different facilities, one in downtown Peterborough, and I think the other one was in Sharon, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of like what Roy's describing. Just they had a ceramics facility. They did a lot of artistic stuff and provided a home and a nexus for a lot of the arts. And as many people know, this is a region, particularly Peterborough, that prides itself on its artistic reputation. And Sharon Arts was, I believe, absorbed into. It was one of the universities, maybe SNHU or somebody, right?
It was absorbed into New England College.
New England College, yeah. So, so larger entity, and unfortunately, they kind of felt like, I think it was a redundancy. They had facilities, I think, further east that they either wanted to consolidate to, or they just didn't feel that Sharon Arts was worth keeping open. So it shuttered in the last couple of years, and it was really kind of a big blow in the community, both in terms of the loss of the actual facilities and that nexus point, but I think psychologically too, a little bit. It was, in terms of the, we pride ourselves in being so artistic, and here was this gem of the arts that was, very suddenly, kind of taken away. So the fact that MaxT has stepped up to try to fill that void is really kind of a huge service in terms of what this region needs. again, both artistically and a little bit psychologically,
Absolutely.
morale-wise.
Yeah.
It's very, very important.
And there's hundreds of artists in our region, and young, old, people just get attracted to living and working here and doing their art. And it was a big blow, as you said, and we're trying to build up those facilities so that they have the resources to continue to use this as their home base.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's one way, we seem to have lost Zoe, but I'm sure she'll be back in a minute. No, because the way I think of it, because, I think the whole idea, actually, that was a question that I wanted to ask is this a thing that people do elsewhere? Because to me, it seems so unique and innovative, and I have not seen it before.
Yeah, well, usually there's a makerspace unit. There's makerspaces in other cities, like there's one in Nashua, one in Manchester, obviously Boston, those types of places where you have
a lot of people.
You have a lot of people. You have like academic resources, maybe being put towards like a learning center like that. But in rural areas, it's really sort of rare. And I feel like I don't know any small towns like Peterborough that have makerspaces other than ours. So it's a cool thing to offer to the town, but there is this sustainable because there are so many people who are, again, attracted to this region, who are creative, want to use a place like this.
Yeah, it is really cool. And it's like, one way to think about it, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, most of us, no matter how, let's say, if we were like super fitness oriented people, right? We really don't have the resources to be able to have every piece of fitness equipment that we might want in our homes, right? And so people join a gym, and you pay a subscription fee to go to a gym, and everybody collectively basically funds this collective exercise space where everyone, and that's what Makerspace is like for anything that you want to make, basically. People are coming together to, share this equipment and share kind of the means to make your creative visions a reality.
Yeah. I mean, my dad had a barn with, all his woodworking equipment in it. And, that's great if you can afford it. Not many people can. And it gets really cold in the winter, and you don't have everything that you need. So, your choice is to either keep buying stuff or, I don't know. It's hard, but this is an option that, just have a shared shop where you can access anytime, and, you get all that equipment. Plus, you have people around you who can actually show you how to use it safely, which is
right. Yes,
good. That sort of peace of mind that maybe you're not going to cut off your fingers. Nice.
Yeah, and
if you do, someone's there to call 911.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, there's somebody around who can help you out. There's bandages on hand, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not happened yet, knock on wood.
Yeah, that's pretty key, because even if I had the money to buy some of this equipment, I would definitely be very concerned about like chopping off a finger or like having no idea, what I'm doing. So it's intimidating. In other words, it's a knowledge repository as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Roy, are you a woodworker? What's your thing?
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of woodworking. Well, less now that I run a makerspace and don't have any time to make anything. But
I was going to say, Roy makes makerspaces. Yeah.
That was my entree into making, and I've since, I've learned how to screen print, laser cut, 3D print, use CNC equipment, which is like computerized, robotic controlled equipment. That's really cool.
That's really cool.
A little bit of printmaking and stuff like that, and then now I'm getting into ceramics. It's great. You can do anything.
That is really cool. Yeah, so you do that is nice. You get to kind of dabble in these forms of craft that were not originally your specialty.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, it's super fun. I love showing my kids, what you can do, what's possible, and having them learn from great teachers that we have here. So
yeah, how does somebody get involved with the Makerspace?
So it's a membership, just like your health club. You pay a monthly fee. Right now, it starts at $40 a month just to get in, and then we have studio spaces, so you could pay a little extra to get your own private workspace in under our roof. So there's family plans, all sorts of.
And actually, that's pretty funny because as we talked about in our most recent episode prior to this one, $40 a month is cheaper than the gym. So, in Peterborough anyway. So,
it's a pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So we try to, we're a nonprofit. We want as many people to be able to access our facility, even if they're not don't have the means to pay for like a huge membership fee. We try to find ways to get people in.
That's great. Yeah. And anybody can show up to a repair cafe, right?
Yep. Repair cafe is open to anybody. And then we have open studios, other events that our classes are open to the public. You don't have to be a member to join a class.
Yeah, really cool. Really cool. And so is it the same crew of folks that run MaxT that's really driving our night market?
Yeah. So we have our staff and volunteers are heavily involved in the organization of night market and making, working on some of the projects that we're going to unveil there. And so a lot of the members of MaxT will be trying to sell their stuff there. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And I mean, that's such a great tie-in, right? Because you can actually have a tent and be selling wares that were created using the Makerspace and all that. Really, really cool. And and so what are we doing for food this year?
Food, yeah. So that was a big complaint last year is we didn't have enough food. Everybody who was selling food ran out.
I bet you they made a ton of money though.
They made a ton of money. But we had some hungry people, so we want to make sure we feed everybody this time. So we have Aesop's, Roy's, and Vital Provisions are all staying open with special menus just for night market.
That's cool.
We have Bubba Frank Barbecue. We have the Thai food truck from West Peterborough, the Traveling Taco.
Nice.
And we have a few other food vendors selling popcorn, bread. We have drink vendors and stuff like that. So it should be plenty for people to snack on.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Yeah, I really look forward to that. Yeah, I think I had to send somebody into Little Roy's last year to get me some kind of like burger or sandwich or something like that, which I did enjoy. But it was we were where our tent was kind of like if we turned around, that's where all the food lines were, and so we kind of watched the whole.
You're like, oh no,
it's like snaked well into the street, and so I was like, wow. I mean, the two vendors that have like a monopoly on food are just making a killing right now, but long line.
yeah. Well,
so is there a coffee truck, or did I just invent that?
We had a coffee truck last year. Yeah, there was a
coffee truck last year. Okay.
Yeah, they're invited this year. I haven't heard back whether they're actually going to be available.
Okay.
Aesop's
my dream for
caffeinated beverages, though, right? Aesop's might if they're staying open.
Aesop's, yeah, they should have.
Good point.
I can't speak for them. They
should be able to keep it. Yeah, so we hope that Aesop's will keep us.
So they lock up their coffee.
Yeah, but they have the means.
I'll say that. They don't want anybody to be stuck having sleep deprivation by drinking caffeine after 3 p.m. Actually, that is kind of an interesting point, though, because that's been a common local complaint, is that like you actually can't get a cup of coffee in Peterborough after like 4 o'clock now, or like it might even
yeah.
be 3 o'clock because
It might even, yeah, I think it's earlier than that.
yeah, because both Aesop's and um, Parker House closed relatively early, and 12 Pine, I guess, has had very erratic hours and stuff, so you can't really.
Yeah,
But
12 Pine used to be where I'd go get an iced coffee, like when I'm dropping off my kids at dance there in Depot Square, but they've been very confusing this
Yeah.
summer. So.
it's a confusing time. But
Yeah.
the night market, like I said, will be an oasis of non-confusion. And
I hope there's plenty for everyone. Nobody will feel like they don't have enough.
exactly. No, it's true. I mean, I don't know, like it's wonderful for kids, if we haven't made that clear so far. I mean, like my kids were like running around everywhere, like begging me for money for like this and that, and hustling vendors, because that's what they do.
That's true. I
Make a
remember
deal.
that.
It's a bazaar, maybe you can haggle. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's really strange because haggling is something that like it's a skill that I've never actually learned myself. Like I don't really know how to do it. My kids somehow can just like work on somebody and be like, yeah, but can I just have it for less? Like
That's good. That's a good skill to have. Yeah, I lived in Morocco for a couple of years, and haggling is the only way to buy things.
Right, exactly.
They look at you as like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like,
I really want
so I
to
had
go
to
to
learn.
Morocco and like Egypt and these places where I know that like haggling is the way, and I'm just like, man, I gotta like take a class or something before I go. Like find a haggling buddy that I can like role play with and practice beforehand.
There's a whole technique, like you have to be willing to like just turn around and start walking away, and then they'll be like, "Oh, wait, come back. We'll maybe lower the price a few dirhams and stuff." Yeah.
That's actually what the night market is a haggling class.
Yeah, let's not.
Like you're just gonna have to.
I mean,
it's another offering
our
of the
local
makers.
artists. Like we need to make sure that everyone gets paid a fair price for that.
Right. We're not really encouraging you to wear down our local artisans.
Yes, like I said, yeah.
It's
all about supporting people. Yeah.
Absolutely. And
didn't say they had to accept his offers, but he could just start practicing.
You're welcome to try, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Anything is at least attemptable at the night market. You can always do anything a try.
You never know what you'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually from on our side of things, from a artistic perspective, one thing we haven't talked about very much is we've been giving these little teasers about what we're going to do for our space lounge, and we're going to have these some dramatic recreations of historic Facebook posts and Hallmark films and the music and all that. But we will also have all of our books there as well, and that includes the brand new title, the Up Level Self Healing Workbook from Sarah Aborn, who will be on site to give us a opening meditation to kick off the Space Lounge and the broader night market on a blessed note. But we just placed a new order because the second printing is basically sold out already. So we just made a third order for stuff to come in. We're rushing it in right before the night market. So we'll have plenty of copies on hand, as well as all of our other titles and a preview of our next title from Bill Mullen. It is possible, and I'm going way out on a limb in saying this, but there is a slight chance that we may have a title and a cover to show you at the night market. No promises, but you will have to come by our tent and see. We also have to figure out who's actually going to be selling stuff at our tent, because we'll be up at the on the stage. But that's a detail we are going to work out in the next 2 weeks. But
it's amazing. Like I'm so excited for that and everything that you have.
We appreciate the opportunity, because we've been talking since before. We joke a lot that like even before Go Monadnock, like with when we were just Monadnock Underground, our one of the the I guess one of the funny things about 2020 is that we had begun the year and like mapped out, our goals and stuff for the year. And like one of them was like, this is going to be the year we focus on in-person events, and we're going to do all kinds of stuff. We're going to do a variety show. We're going to all these plans. And then of course, 1 month later, we've got COVID on our hands and we didn't get to do any of that. So we've been really longing for this like event type expansion of our activities for quite some time. So we really do appreciate the opportunity. Like I said, this has been, something we've been looking forward to trying to do for a long time, and to have it be part of this very, very special local event is an honor and a privilege. And we're extremely excited, and we are pulling out all the stops to make this a great program for anybody who happens to walk by.
Yeah, definitely make that a destination while you're at night market.
Catch everything while you're there. I mean, last year I kept having to take breaks from the booth. We would take turns just to go so we could make sure that we saw everything. And the performances, we were lucky enough that the tent was right by where the fire jugglers were a lot of the time. So we had a great view, and the lightsaber man. So we had a great view of those performances. But it was very important that we saw, looked around and got a chance to check out all the vendors and everything that's going on. So no matter which part of this market you're attracted to, or even if you're coming to it to sell or perform, make sure that you check out all of the other parts. Even with us being on stage, I've already started like scheming in my head, like how I can get like 15-20 minutes to like run around the place and check out everything that's going on. So,
and I always get like people come up at this time and like, oh, can I be part of night market? And like, what, I want you next. I mean, we're sort of booked out this year, but I want you to, give me your ideas, tell me what you want to do for next time. Cause we want to keep expanding this and keep making this crazier and more fun. Here we go.
Absolutely. Well, is there anything that folks really need to know about this that we have not covered so far?
No, just plan to be there as long as possible. There's things happening at different times, so just make an evening of it. Have dinner. Bring your kids. There'll be plenty for everybody to do the whole time.
Yeah, make it a late night with the kids. It's worth it. That is a good point. Actually, plan to be there for the whole thing, because this isn't like we're just like going to the flea market to look at the tents and we're going to peruse it and take off. Like, no, this is an event.
Yeah,
this is an event.
And if you've unfortunately made plans for that day, cancel them.
Yeah, seriously. Like, we know some people who are like going to be like camping then.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Wrong. Yeah, wrong idea. Yeah, exactly. And this actually provides me a great segue to saying thank you to our sound lord who's going to edit this episode, because he and his wife are making an event of it. They're coming. They got a babysitter and they're coming out from Manchester to just to attend the entire market. And that is, I told you guys, you can come. We'll probably pull him up on stage. He's going to stop by. You can judge him for yourself and see how you feel about whether or not he looks like someone who can handle your sound needs or can play some awesome hot dad rock for your party, regardless of what season it is. But he already should be leaving a good impression on you, because he has exactly the right idea about the night market. So you should be like Chad. You should look him up, studio117.net, for all of your sound-related needs, whether that is mixing, editing, setup, or simply advice. And Down by 10 is the preeminent dad rock band of summer 2022. So special thanks to Chad. Thank you to Roy for joining us, for everything you do with the MaxT Space and for putting on this night market. It is all of these things, especially coming on the show, are great services to the community. And we really appreciate it.
My pleasure. And thank you guys. I really appreciate the podcast and everything else you're doing with Go Monadnock. I think it's a real good addition to our local media scene, such as it is here. So,
thank you very
thanks.
much. I appreciate that. Yeah. And thank you all for joining. The best advice that I can give you to close out this program is, of course, go to the night market and stay for the whole thing. So we'll see you next week. By the time another episode comes out, it's possible the night market will be passed. So this is your last, command from us to do this. So take our advice, and we will see you next time in the live space station. Take care.